Hello everyone. Now my group will make a presentation. My name is Rido Jaya Siombing as the group leader, while Fakri, Kosam and Zumar are members of the group. The topic of our presentation is nuclear energy, and it is entitled Nuclear Power Plant. There are four main explanations in our presentation, namely about nuclear energy, about nuclear power plants, about thorium, and about the molten salt reactor. The order of discussion of our presentation can be seen as follows. Starting from nuclear energy, for example, the definition of nuclear energy, then nuclear power plant and its advantage, then nuclear power plant fuel, until acidification potential from nuclear power plants.
Okay, I will tell about what is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is the energy released in the process of nuclear reactions such as in fission is called nuclear energy. Protons and neutrons are independently free particles. So when they combine to form a single atomic nucleus, these particles are bound by an energy called binding energy. Part of the binding energy released in the process of nuclear fission is the source of nuclear energy. Okay, the next one is nuclear power plants and its advantage. Nuclear power plant is a thermal power station that uses nuclear fuel or uranium to generate energy. The energy produced by the fission reaction in a nuclear reaction turns into heat and water turns into hot steam, and then energy is taken to turn a turbine which then generates electricity. Nuclear energy has several advantages, including number one, the operational cost of generating electricity is cheaper. Number two, the use of nuclear energy will relatively reduce our consumptions. Number three, doesn't release smoke or dust from combustion through the chimney or dust us into the environment. Number four, has reliability and safety very strict. Number five, the use of nuclear power plants will provide other side products in the fields of industry, research, and technology. The NPP system is classified as high technology and prospective for the future. NPPs have the characteristic of abundant source in nature, can be generated on a large scale, economically, on a mass, and environmentally friendly. The empirical evidence indicate a unidirectional negative causality running from nuclear energy consumption to CO emissions without feedback, implying that nuclear energy consumption and can help to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. The evidence seems to indicate that the US can reduce its carbon dioxide emissions by increasing nuclear energy consumptions. And then the difference between coal power plants and nuclear power plant is that the heat used to generate steam is not produced from burning fossil materials, but as a result of the splitting of the uranium atomic nucleus, which is shot with neutrons. The heat generated from the fission reaction is transported out of the reactor core by the cooling fluid, which is continuously pumped into the reactor through the reactor coolant channel. The next one is nuclear power plant fuel. Nuclear fuel is all types of materials that can be used to produce nuclear energy. So when analogous to chemical fuels that are burned to produce energy, until now the nuclear fuel commonly used was the heavy element fissile, which can produce a nuclear chain reactant in a nuclear reactor. Nuclear fuel can also mean a physical material or objects. For example, a fuel bundle consisting of a fuel rod made up of the fuel materials. It can also be mixed with structural materials, moderator materials, or neutron reflector materials. Fissile nuclear fuel, which is often used, is uranium and plutonium. Besides that, there are alternative nuclear fuels, namely thorium. Of course, many are wondering what thorium is. Thorium is a new renewable energy source and includes alternative nuclear fuels, besides uranium or what is now known as named nuclear green. The next one is, what is the advantage of thorium over uranium in its use as a material for nuclear fission reactors? The principal argument for thorium rather than uranium as fuel for nuclear reactor are the ones that in the title, thorium is considerably more abundant than uranium. Thorium reactors can be configured to minimize the waste storage issue, and thorium reactors are less conducive to proliferation of weapons-grade materials. Thorium will be an active fuel in 3 until 4 decades for countries like the United States, since it's abundant in both the raw material and the starter material. The waste disposal issue will be a significant driver, and less so the proliferation issue. However, the United States has a developed nuclear infrastructure, and as long as uranium or plutonium costs are low, there is a little incentive to change. For countries like India that have a superabundance of the raw material, thorium will be a near-term driver. It is understandable that India will develop domestic source of heavy water for the short term and want to develop energy amplifier technology for the long term. For the new nuclear countries, the choice between thorium or uranium or plutonium will likely be based on the availability of a secure source for the basic materials. In short term, while energy amplifiers are not available, it is more likely they will opt for uranium or plutonium as the basic fuel. In 3 until 4 decades, that calculus could change dramatically.
The abundance of thorium in world and Indonesia. The amount of thorium resources or reserve in the world is 3 until 4 times that of uranium. Based on EIEA data for 2005, the amount of thorium reserve in the world is more 6 million tons, but this amount changes every year depending on whether the reserves are found or not. The research is large thorium the country of India. Among the countries in the world, 5 countries that have a large amount of thorium reserve as the first countries is India, second Turkey, third Brazil, fourth Australia, and the fifth is USA. Current speculative thorium reserves in Indonesia are found along the thin Carnit belt that stretches from the Riau Island, Bangka Belitung to West Kalimantan, and the potential of thorium content in the Mamuju area of West Sulawesi. What are the drawbacks of using thorium as fuel for all fission reactors? The first is high startup costs. Huge investments are needed for thorium nuclear power reactors as it requires significant amount of testing, analyzing, and the licensing of work. Also, there is uncertainty of returns of the investment in these reactors. For utilities, this factor can weigh on the decision to go ahead with plans to deploy the reactors. The reactors also involve high fuel fabrication and resourcing costs. Next is high melting point of thorium oxide. As melting point of thorium oxide is much higher compared to that of uranium oxide, high temperatures are needed to make high density THO2 and TiO2. Based on mixed oxide fuels, the fuel in nuclear fission reactor is usually based on the metal oxide. And the next is emission of gamma rays. Presence of uranium-232 in irradiated thorium of thorium-based fuels in large amounts is one of the major disadvantages of thorium nuclear power reactors. It can result in significant emission of gamma rays. Advantage of the thorium cycle. First, U-233 bred from thorium is seen from a neutronic standpoint at least the best of the 3 nuclear fuels, U-235, Pu-239, U-233, and this forms neutron energy practically efficient for power reactors. Either thermal of the efficient, the eta rational of neutron yield per fission to neutron absorbed is higher to that of U-335 or of Pu-239. The next is, moreover, from the perspective position of uranium and thorium in Mendeleev table, the long-lived minor actinides resulting for fission are in much lower quantity in the thorium cycle, especially compared with the plutonium cycle. The next, in addition, Quadrivalent thorium and its compounds are very stable and are among the highest known refractories. Thorium oxide (ThO2) melts around 3300 Celsius. This stability allows high burn-up and high temperatures. However, it complicates somewhat the chemical treatment for the separation of thorium compounds, as well as their dissociation for disposition. Next, thorium oxide, uranium oxide, and plutonium oxide have a similar physical characteristic and can see crystallize in the concentrated cubic form. This property is important for the manufacture and stability of hybrid oxide fuels and permits the manufacture of very high burns-up fuels. Next, moreover, U-233 also maintains its good neutronic properties as mentioned above with higher temperatures, better than either U-235 or Pu-239 for most neutron energies. These properties has led naturally to recommended to thorium cycle for high temperature reactors. The developed thorium power nuclear reactors. In view of the renewed interest in thorium, the possibilities of thorium utilization in different reactor systems, namely pressurized heavy water reactors, light water reactors, molten salt breeder reactors, fast reactors, and accelerator-driven subcritical systems have been examined.
Thank you, Zidane. Next, the history of molten salt reactor. Molten salt reactor reached nearly to the end of 1950 when President Ray Bryant from Oak Ridge National Laboratory began to study an ability to use nuclear reactor with liquid fuel based on molten fluoride salt. Later on, in the 1950s, the military-oriented Aircraft Nuclear Propulsion Program, or ANP, was carried out in Oak Ridge National Laboratory. The first small molten reactor was realized in 1953. However, in 1954, the first real MSR was put in operation. The reactor, which reached the power of 2.5 MW, was able to demonstrate successfully. At the end of 1950, the motivation of use the MSR for military use was lost. However, based on the promising result obtained during ANP, the development of the technology was consecutively oriented to the peaceful use and the work continued during the program. Called Molten Salt Reactor Experiment (MSRI) in the 1960s and the Molten Salt Breeder Reactor (MSBR) in the end of 1960 and the beginning of 1970. In those days, the main effort was focused to the demonstration of viability of the molten salt reactor and to the verification of the operation of the reactor. In the frame of MSRA, the experimental molten salt reactor was realized and operated in the period of 1965 until 1969. In Italy, the fuel of MSRI was constituted by 7 lithium fluoride, beryllium fluoride, zirconium tetrafluoride, uranium tetrafluoride, and the mixture of lithium fluoride and beryllium fluoride served simultaneously as the heat transferring agent. In 1968, the original 235 uranium was extracted from the fuel salt and later replaced by 233 uranium. Also, the composition of the current fuel salt was changed and the new fuel salt was composed only from 7 lithium fluoride, barium fluoride, and uranium tetrafluoride. The moderator of the reactor was graphite. Structural material of MSRI was nickel alloy. The coolant of secondary circuit was lithium and beryllium fluoride. The power of MSRI was nearly 8 MW and the working temperature in the region of 600 degrees Celsius. Next, the advantage of molten salt reactor. Molten salt reactor have 13 advantages. First, the molten salt reactor Use liquid fuel, which allow the fuel salt to be drained automatically to passively cool it in critically safe dump tanks. Second, fission product can rapidly form stable fluoride that will remain in the salt during leaks or accident. The noble gas inflated and stored outside the reactor loop. Noble and semi-noble metal will stick to the metal surface and or can be collected with a replaceable metal sponge with a high surface area inside. Third, the continuous removal of the noble gas xenon means that there is no dead time of the reactor after shutdown or a power decrease. That most solid full reactor must deal with the due to the production of 135 xenon from the decay of 135 iodium. Fourth, most MSR design have very strong negative temperature and void coefficient which act instantly, aiding safely and allowing automatic load following operation. Fifth, only a low pressure vessel is needed as the salt run near atmospheric pressure. No water or sodium means no possible steam explosion or hydrogen production within the containment. In design without graphite moderator, there is no even combustible material present. 6. Molten fluoride salt and mineral are excellent coolant, with a 25% higher volumetric heat capacity that pressurized water and nearly 5 times that of liquid sodium. This results in more compact primary loop component like pump and heat exchanger. They also have a much lower thermal conductivity than sodium, which allow thermal shock issues. 7. Fissile concentration are easily adjusted on a continuous basis, meaning no excess reactivity and no need for burnable poisons. A single control load for shutdown and startup is often included, but it's not strictly necessary given the ability to drain full out of the core into critically safe storage tank. 8. The utilization of the thorium-233 uranium cycle produces several orders of magnitude less transonic waste than a conventional on-stroke cycle and significantly less than even uranium-plutonium fast breeder. This leads to the radiotoxicity of waste being less than equivalent uranium ore level within a few hundred years. 9. Full processing and utilization of thorium permit break-even breeding with ease and ability to reach a breeding ratio of 1.06 or even to 1.13, adding to 238 uranium to denature the uranium content and still break-even is also possible. 10. Break-even operation only require approximately 800 kg of thorium per gigawatt year, adding simply as thorium tetrafluoride. Startup fuel requirement can be as low as 200 kg per gigawatt or upward 5.5 ton in harder spectrum design, with 700 to 1,500 kg more common. Thorium startup inventory varies from 50 to 200 ton per gigawatt. Terrestrial thorium is 3 times as abundant as uranium with large proven reserve even with the small current usage. MSR offer large advantage for the detection of transonic waste from traditional on-stroke reactor. Without any 13. Without any full processing, MSR can run as simple converter with excellent uranium utilization even on an on-stroke cycle. Next, the disadvantage of molten salt reactor. A safely disadvantage of molten salt reactor is the accumulation of fission product in the primary system, the off-gas system, the fuel storage tank, and the processing plant, which require provision to ensure that the fission product will be contained and the decay heat will be removed under all conceivable circumstances. Next, electricity production truck PVR. The French utility EDF currently operates 58 second generation PBR. Located on the 19th site, all these reactors belong to the same type derived from the former Westinghouse type. However, their cooling system is different. 30 of them are cooled through cooling towers, which are the other directly use the adjacent river or seawater as cold source. Full burn is currently in the range of 44 to 50 gigawatt per second. In order to produce 400 to 420 terawatt hours per year, roughly 1,200 tons of the fresh fuel have to be yearly introduced in the reactor part. 1,200 tons of the spent fuel are therefore discharged yearly.
Water consumption and withdrawal. Reactor cooling is the main contributor to water consumption, namely 97%, and withdrawal, namely 99.9%. Although on the reactor with cooling tower, namely 53% of the French reactor, are the only ones with net water consumption, namely 1,500 liters per megawatt hour. SO and NO emissions are in the range of the data published in the literature. The main contributor is in both cases the mining activities, which represent about 87% for SO and 78% for NO. The other contributors are by decreasing order the reactor, namely 6% for SO, 11% for NO. The enrichment, namely 3% for SO, 4% for NO, and the reprocessing, namely 3% for SO, 2% for NO. Release of the chemical hazard, excluding radioelement, in water can lead to water pollution. These releases are mainly produced by mining and milling operation, namely 89%, with a significant contribution of sulfate. The second contributor derives from the reactor occupation, namely 8%, and then reprocessing, namely 2%. Acidification potential. Acidification depends mainly on SO and NO emissions. This indicator represents the impact of the studied system on acid rain formation. It is given in milligram SO2 equivalent per kilowatt hour. Mining activities are the main contributor to the acidification potential, namely 82%, followed by reactor operation, namely 8%. The remaining 12% are shared almost equally between the rest of the activities, namely 2 until 4% per activity. SO and NO generation contribute equally to this indicator, even if generally more NO are produced. Actually, a corrective factor of 0.7 is to be applied to NOx data get the SO2 equivalent impact. After many explanations that we did, at the end, we made a conclusion that we think is sufficient to summarize briefly the many material that we can feed. Conclusion. Nuclear energy is new energy, which if used positively can make a very big contribution to humanity. For example, the energy sector as a nuclear power plant. This plant has many advantages over other power plants, range from relatively harmless environmental impacts to the very large amount of electrical energy production. In the nuclear power plant work process, fuel in the form of radioactive substance is needed, which is currently popular is thorium. One of the group because its abundance in nature is greater than uranium. Nuclear reactor is a place or device used to make assist and maintain the continuity of nuclear reaction at a constant rate. Among many nuclear reactors, this is one nuclear reactor that is relatively good and safe to use, namely the molten salt reactor, or MSR. Molten salt reactor is a liquid salt reactor is a type of nuclear reactor in which the primary coolant, or even the fuel itself, is a mixture of molten salt. Finally, our presentation delivered all the material that we want to convey. Hopefully, what we convey can be useful to all participants. We have many shortcuts. Thus, we are very grateful if you all provide criticism and suggestions so that we can improve our abilities in the future presentation. We thank you very much for the attention and support the participants have given. That's all and thank you.